The best monitor for Xbox Series X will buck the trend that consoles and big TVs are the best, almost exclusive gaming buddies. Partly down to the 120Hz high refresh capabilities of the Xbox Series X, and partly down to the new generation of quality monitors being aimed not just at PCs, but also game consoles. Plus the fact that the Xbox Series X supports a wide range of resolutions, including 1440p, and monitors start to look like a sensible option. We have listed the top 5 monitors for Xbox Series X and their key features, plus the things you need to consider to help you choose the best one for you. Links to all the products mentioned in the video are in the description below. You can also find a more detailed analysis and a comparison tool on our website, legitpick.com. Number 5. MSI Optix MAG274QRF-QD. The best Xbox Series S monitor for co-op gaming we've tested is the MSI Optix MAG274QRF-QD. It has the same 1440p resolution as the Samsung Odyssey G7 LC32G7 5T, which makes it a good choice for the Series S, and you won't have any issues playing 1440p games up to 120 FPS from the console on it. It's better for co-op gaming because it has wider viewing angles, so the image remains accurate when viewing from the sides. It also has excellent ergonomics, so you can easily place the screen in an ideal viewing position and adjust it to your liking, whether you're co-op gaming or playing on your own. It has a lower max refresh rate than the Samsung, but it's still high at 165Hz, and motion looks smooth both at 120Hz and at 60Hz. Also, it has FreeSync VRR support to reduce screen tearing while gaming. Sadly, it has oversaturated colors unless you're using the sRGB mode, and if you do, it locks most picture settings, so it's not the best monitor if you want to customize the picture settings to get the best image possible. Also, it has a low contrast ratio that makes blacks look grey in the dark. Besides that, it's the best 1440p monitor for co-op gaming on the Xbox Series X. Number 4. LG27GP950B. The LG27GP950B is the best gaming monitor for Xbox Series X with full HDMI 2.1 bandwidth that we've tested. Although the Gigabyte M32U can still reach 4K at 120Hz signals without issue, it still requires compression to do so, so if you want a monitor that doesn't need compression, the LG is a great choice. It has a smaller 27-inch screen, but it has an even higher pixel density for sharper images. Thanks to the full HDMI 2.1 bandwidth and 144Hz panel, it displays any signal from the Xbox Series X up to 4K at 120Hz, and it supports VRR to reduce screen tearing. Gaming feels responsive thanks to its low input lag, and you won't notice any motion blur behind fast-moving objects as it has a really quick response time at any refresh rate. It has good picture quality because it gets bright enough to fight glare, and it has a great HDR peak brightness, so small highlights in games pop. Sadly, even though it has a local dimming feature, it performs terribly because it's edge-lit and doesn't do much to improve the picture quality. Also, it has bad black uniformity as there's clouding throughout, and blacks also look grey. If you're not going to use the monitor in a dark room, it's the best gaming monitor for Xbox Series X. Number 3. Acer Nitro XV2A2K. The Acer Nitro XV2A2K's appeal to console gamers is undeniable. It has all the makings of an excellent Xbox Series X and PS5 display without incredibly steep price. Don't get us wrong, it's still pretty expensive, but less than the other options out there. That is, as long as you're okay with a smaller 28-inch screen and only display HDR400. Neither are deal breakers anyway, especially since you're getting that impeccable Ultra HD resolution and up to 120Hz refresh rate thanks to its 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. Plus that size is just perfect for desk gaming. Number 2. Gigabyte M32U. The Gigabyte M32U is the best monitor for Xbox Series X with a 4K resolution we've tested. It's an excellent gaming monitor for console gamers with 2 HDMI inputs that support HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, meaning you can take full advantage of 4K at 120Hz gaming on the Xbox Series X. The large high-resolution screen delivers a very sharp image and an immersive gaming experience, and it has wide viewing angles, making it a great choice for co-op gaming. It delivers an excellent gaming experience overall. Motion is incredibly clear with just a bit of blur behind fast-moving objects, even when gaming at 60Hz. It has incredibly low input lag with the latest firmware, but you'll need to update it to its latest firmware, as the input lag out of the box is a bit high. Finally, it supports FreeSync variable refresh rate technology, which helps reduce tearing when gaming, ensuring a smooth, responsive gaming experience. Unfortunately, it doesn't support full bandwidth HDMI 2.1, as it's limited to 24GB per second instead of 48GB per second, so you'll need compression to display high frame rate signals. However, since the Xbox supports compression, it doesn't have any troubles with games up to 4K at 120Hz. While it has HDR10 support and local dimming feature, HDR content doesn't look good because there's blooming around bright objects. Still, it's an excellent overall gaming monitor. Number 1. Samsung Odyssey G7. The Samsung Odyssey G7 is the best gaming monitor for Xbox Series X with a 1440p resolution that we've tested. It's available in 27 and 32 inches size, and both deliver the same amazing gaming experience with outstanding response time, resulting in crystal clear motion and incredibly low input lag. The 32-inch model delivers a more immersive gaming experience, but the higher pixel density of the 27-inch model results in a sharper image. It's also decent for gaming in HDR with a wide color gamut and great contrast. It's not very bright in HDR, so the impact is limited. Visibility isn't an issue in bright rooms thanks to its great peak brightness in SDR and very good reflection handling, so it can easily outcome glare in bright rooms. It also has good ergonomics, meaning you can easily adjust it to an ideal viewing position. It has great gaming features, including FreeSync support to reduce steering in some games. Sadly, the viewing angles are mediocre, so it isn't the best option for playing co-op games or sharing content. The aggressive 1000R curve delivers a very immersive gaming experience, bringing the size of the screen closer to your field of view. Overall, this is an impressive monitor and it's the best monitor for Xbox Series S that we've tested. What to consider when buying the best monitors for Xbox Series X? Microsoft's long history with PCs and PC gaming means that the Xbox Series X is probably better equipped to work with most gaming monitors than any other console, past or present. While most monitors will technically work with the Series X, not all will be able to support its full capabilities. Microsoft has helpfully added monitors to its Design for Xbox Hardware Partnership program, which highlights gear that's fully certified to work with it, but that only covers a tiny fraction of the compatible monitors available on the market. Premium graphics tend to cover at a premium price, so if you can't shell out more than the cost of the console itself for a top-tier display, you shouldn't primarily decide whether you care about the resolution or frame rate, which broadly map onto whether you care more about sharper visuals or smoother gameplay. What is HDMI 2.1? As many of the best gaming monitors can attest, the PC gaming community continues to shift towards DisplayPort cables for your monitor connectivity needs. It's worth noting because the Xbox Series X ideally calls for HDMI 2.1, the latest iteration of the ubiquitous HDMI cable. Despite the fact that the connectors look the same as the older iterations of HDMI, HDMI 2.1 greatly increases how much data moves from computer to screen. HDMI 2.0 offers a maximum data transmission rate of 18 gigabits per second, allowing you to output video and games in 4K resolution at 60Hz, or in 1080p resolution at up to 240Hz. With HDMI 2.1, the maximum jumps up to 48 gigabits per second, allowing computers, including game consoles, to play 4K video at up to 180Hz, or in 8K at 50Hz. For the Xbox Series X in particular, HDMI 2.1 gives you the chance to play games in 4K resolution at up to 120 FPS. Not every new game supports that high spec, but a growing list of modern Xbox games can make it happen. The Series X and all of these monitors are also compatible with older HDMI monitors and cables, but the display won't be able to show games running above 60 FPS in 4K. While Microsoft claims that the Xbox Series X hardware can handle 8K gameplay, the console doesn't support 8K gameplay. Microsoft has promised to unlock 8K in the indeterminate future, which will require a frame rate trade-off even with HDMI 2.1. Aspect ratio and resolution. Speaking on 4K and 8K, let's talk about the size and shape of your monitor. Generally speaking, we recommend picking a monitor size that's based on the resolution you plan to use for your games. Since the Xbox Series X outputs at 4K resolution, you're ideally going to get a bigger monitor, 32 inches or more. Resolution refers to the number of pixels on screen, with high resolutions being capable of more fine-grained detail and smoothness. Unlike the limited monitor resolution options on the PS5, Xbox Series X supports an impressively wide range of resolutions. Standard HD, which is 720p, confusingly also named Standard HD, which is 1080p, Quad HD, and Ultra HD 4K. Refresh rate, response time, and input lag. When judging how smoothly a game animates, frame rate is king. Refresh rate measured in Hertz determines the highest possible frame rate at which a game runs. More precisely, it refers to the number of times per second a monitor can draw an image on your screen. Even if a console is powerful enough to run a game at 120 frames per second and the game supports that spec, you won't be able to see it unless the monitor can refresh at that speed. Let us know in the comments which model works for you the best and why. Thank you for watching the video, and that is all for this one. If you find this video helpful in any way, give a huge thumbs up, stay tuned for the upcoming videos by subscribing to our channel. See you guys in the next one.